512.
512.
झालंय ना? हां.
Yes.
गो फॉर इट. ऍक्शन.
Welcome, dear listeners. Greetings. Welcome to this fascinating interview with a lady with a difference, Miss Heather Cumming. When the whole world moves towards the greenery, pasture, seeking prosperity, Miss Cumming went in the other direction.
Now you can start. It has been started.
Okay.
I'll check there.
त्याला पॉज करून टाकलं.
नाही विल एडिट दॅट. गो फॉर इट.
Good morning. Welcome, dear listeners. Greetings. Welcome to this fascinating interview with a lady with a difference, Miss Heather Cumming. When the whole world moves towards greenery pastures, seeking prosperity, Miss Cumming went in the other direction to stand with people, left out of the development schemes and made a change in her life. Miss Cumming, an American from Ohio, brought a very Colanda went to Africa as a young adult US volunteer to Zambia for a year to serve the people and went on the skate her stay even a path 1 year period of volunteering to be one among them. Her 22 years of stay in Zambia and Sierra Leone is nothing start of a thriller story. Let's listen from her own voice. So, welcome Miss Heather Cumming. Please tell about your background and how you become a US volunteer.
Thank you. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say that since I was a very small girl, maybe 8, 9 years old, I wanted to go to Africa, and I identified myself somehow as being African, though I'm not in any way, my DNA, my bloodline, in no way am I African, but I identified myself as being an African.
Yes.
I don't know why. Maybe past lives, something. So as I got older, let me say college,
Yes.
university age, everything I did was a movement towards how I would get to Africa. All of my actions were on one course, and that was how I would get to Africa, where I knew I needed to go. Let me say that Africa isn't a place you just go. I mean, you could go to a big city,
Yes.
book a hotel on booking.com like that, but that was never my interest. My interest was always the village,
Yes.
remote areas where the people still have the integrity and the wisdom of the ancient culture
Yes.
that hasn't been taken from them through westernization, urbanization, industrialization, imperialism, colonialism. All of these factors haven't affected the deeply remote areas. So you have a contradiction.
Yes.
In the remote areas, the people are suffering for what I would call the basic human essentials. Basic human essentials need to reproduce, need to excrete food, water. Air.
Yes.
Basic. And their water problems are something very multifaceted. There's usually a few scenarios. You have water that is seasonal.
Okay.
So like right now it's June in India, we're
rainy
having
season.
monsoon. Yes.
Yes.
Without a proper rainwater harvesting catchment system,
Okay.
a lot of your water here in India is going to get wasted, right?
Yes.
So it's almost 1%, maybe not even 1% of in these remote villages can have a system to preserve water.
Water harvesting.
So exactly. So a lot of it is wasted and lost.
Yes.
So many people fetch water with a seasonal, we call it a shallow well.
Yes.
So it's basically a river, a small stream, that as the rains become further and further in our memory
Yes.
and behind us, after the months have passed since the last rainfall, that water source just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yes.
But you have the same amount of people fetching that you did when there was heavy rain.
Oh.
So now they're sharing less and less and less water. And you know how when water gets smaller, it starts collecting dirt, the soil.
Yes. Yes.
So
Soil.
thank you. So the consistency and the purity of the water
Very less.
becomes less and less pure.
Yes.
So now we're not only looking at a shortage of water, we're looking at cleanliness of the water.
Okay.
So we have that scenario.
Yes.
We have another scenario where one village has a water well. Maybe it's an India Mark II hand pump,
Yes.
drilled 60 meters deep.
Yes.
Very good water, aquifer, every day people are using. It's a good water well
Yes.
that an NGO or a non-profit organization put there on their behalf.
Yes.
You're going to have hundreds of people walking 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 8 kilometers to fetch from that well.
Oh.
Okay, that's another scenario.
Okay.
Is it sustainable? How many hours in the day will it take you just to get water if the water source is 8 kilometers away? You can't even think of it. It can take 2 hours just to go collect one 20-liter jerry can.
Yes.
In our local language, we say chikamburi.
Mm.
One kamburi of water on the head. These African women, what they'll do, they'll put the 20-liter on their head.
Okay.
Then each arm, they'll take the 10-liter.
Okay.
So now they've got 40 liters.
40 liters.
So how long can 40 liters of water satisfy a family of 15 people, 20 people? A man, maybe he has 2 wives, one wife has 6 children, one wife has 8 children. How many people? Let's say a family of 22 people.
22 people in a
Anything.
family.
How long will the 40 liters of water last?
It is not sufficient.
Bathing, cooking, laundering,
Oh.
Washing the baby,
Yes.
maybe even cleaning things in the house, dusting. You know, you need small water when you're cleaning your house. All of these things. So we have that problem.
Okay.
A water source that is too far away. A water source that dries up part of the year. Or we have a scenario where there is water all year round, but every animal is sharing the water with the human being.
Yes.
The human being is sharing the water with the cow, with the goat, with the sheep. The livelihood animal is sharing the water with the human being. the issue isn't so much that the human being is better than the animal, or the animal is better than the human being. That is not the question. The issue is that the human bodily system cannot tolerate the same quality of water as a dog or a cow. You see, they can drink filthy water,
Yes.
no problem. For us, we get sick, we die.
Yes.
We have a very sensitive inner system, you know, and so we don't have the same tolerance.
Yes.
So I didn't know any of this when I went to Africa when I was 24. Now I'm 44. So actually 20 years I've been doing this work. I live with the local people.
Yes.
Now I have a daughter, but I didn't always have her. And I just stayed alone in the village, local house made of molded bricks with the soil. They bake them in the sun, thatched grass roof, no running water, just carrying water, and no electricity.
Oh.
So this was the way that I learned to stay with the people, and it's a very effective way to learn about the deep root of all of these issues that they're facing.
Yes.
It's different than you read an article on the internet.
Okay. Then, what made you to choose to stay beyond the period of volunteership?
Thank you. I was a United States Peace Corps volunteer
Yes.
for 2 years with 3 months of training.
Oh.
What I realized after 1.5 years, so the time is almost over, and I realized I'm just getting started.
Yes.
Everything in Africa is so slow. You can't do a project, you can't do anything in 2 years.
Oh.
Anything deeply sustainable takes a very long time in Africa.
Life is very slow.
Life is slow, and they achieve results, but they do it in their own way, on their own time.
They're not having any type of mass media.
I can almost definitely say no.
Oh.
Yeah. They have newspapers. Now that most people have these phones, they can read news articles on phones and things like that, but a large percentage of the rural population they can't read. They're informally educated.
We can call it a very remote area.
Right, yes. But a very large percentage of the people living in these African nations live in the remote area.
Okay.
So it's not the minority, it's more like the majority. I would actually have to do research on that to see the percentage of people that live in the urban and then the people who live in the villages, but we're looking at a mass population of people living in villages. This isn't like a few people, this is like most people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, how do you manage the vast culture differences, I suppose, you faced in your everyday life, daily life?
The vast cultural differences, the longer I live in Africa, the more vast they become.
Okay.
Because the more I am solidified in my own inner being.
Oh.
The things that I believe in, monogamy. Monogamy is something that, polygamy is very, very common in Zambia.
Okay.
And it's part of their culture, part of their system, part of their poverty. And for me, being around that system, I'm not telling them to stop. They can do what they need to do. I'm not telling them it's wrong, because it's not wrong. It's something that is right for them, or they wouldn't be doing it. But it's made me embrace my own value system even more deeply. I used to try to fit in with the people in the village, and I think my daughter has helped. My daughter is 14, she's almost 15, and she's helped me realize that being me, she always says, be you, Mom, be you. The more I'm just me, the more I naturally can fit in with people in any context, because I'm not hiding from myself, trying to be them, wear the same clothing. This is different than respect. I'm not going to go in the village and wear a tight miniskirt.
Okay.
You have to respect.
Yes.
They don't show their legs. They always wear long skirts.
Long skirts.
They would never dress like that.
Okay.
So, respect. So I would always respect them and follow the respect, which is part of their culture.
Yes.
But it's me respecting them, not me trying to be them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So in my own home, without people around me, African people, my daughter and I wear our little, how do you call them? Like
T-shirts.
an undershirt. Yeah.
Yes.
Like men wear them under their shirts.
Yes.
This type, and our underwear.
Bunions.
Yeah. Walk around in our underwear, no problem. But for, when we're meeting with people or we're outside and people can see us, we would never dress that way, because you have to honor the culture.
Yes.
But if you try to make a culture part of you through forcing yourself, you begin to have an identity crisis.
Yes.
I don't know if you're getting me.
Yes, yes,
So
I'm getting you.
if you stayed in the United States, my country, and you said, "Oh, I won't wear a sari, I won't wear kurta, let me put the mini skirt, let me put the tight shirt," you would feel uncomfortable
Yes.
trying to follow a system that isn't part of you.
Yes.
You see? So you can honor that women wear the mini skirts, or they wear things that you can honor, that this is part of American culture.
Yes.
But you don't have to do it for you don't have to take that as you if it's not.
No. Not for me, because I respect my Indian culture,
Yes.
and you respect the African culture, and that's why you wear that type of dress there.
Yes.
It is very impressive for us. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to discuss that. Tell me something about the way you organize the community and your NGO.
Good. Okay. So my project is a rural community development project created by the people
Okay.
and committed to serving the needs of the people. When I finished with the United States Peace Corps, I actually went back to the U.S. for a few months, maybe 4 months, 6 months, and then I traveled to Nepal, your neighbor country.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
And I lived in Lower Mustang, which is like in the Himalayan mountains.
Yes.
I taught English to some Tibetan monk children. While I was there, people from my village in Zambia were writing me letters asking me if I would come back and help them and start my own project, which we could have forever without a time limit. And some of the people in the village who had more cows, cattle is a sign of wealth, even here.
Yes,
I
yes.
know that.
Yes.
Very much in India, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels, similarities between Africa and India.
Yes.
And the cows are one of them. Very sacred, even in Africa. Not religiously, but for life,
Yes.
especially in the remote areas. Wealth is cattle.
We respect cow as a god.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Goddess.
Yes. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, yes, I do.
NGOs.
So they sold 3 cows, and Western Union me money for my air ticket
Oh.
so that I would come back again
Oh.
after I finished with the United States Peace Corps. So it's like they funded my trip to come back to help them. And this is poor village people with very little resources other than, I should say they're cash poor. They have many resources, but they don't have cash. And somehow they managed to fund my air ticket, which is
Okay.
not cheap. So the people started this project by asking me to come and help them with their deep needs. And they identified the deepest need as being water. And that goes back to what we were
Yes,
discussing.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
You are the role model woman for there. That's why they like your work, and they supposed to come back to South Africa. Yes. Now I want to know about your. I suppose the journey was never easy. Would you like the recollect some other executing your plan, and have you tackled them?
Thank you. This is the best question from this whole session. I have made a lot of mistakes, and now I realize that the problem in my project is not only the what we call the perpetrator,
Yes.
but it's also my problem for not managing resources better, and I see that now. So I'm going back to Zambia on Saturday.
Okay.
I've been in India since January. Today is the 12th of June. I don't even want to leave India. My daughter is crying because she wants this Indian food every day. We don't like African food, sorry, we don't like it. So when I go back to Zambia, I have a contractor that I hired in 2021. He owes me 4 to 6 water wells.
Oh.
These are the India Mark II pumps.
Yes.
He owes me a security wall fence around my home, a local kitchen,
Oh,
my
very nice.
kitchen he owes me, and a water irrigation system.
Okay.
He has been paid in full. He has not done his job. I have to deal with that.
Yes.
I have to deal with that. In Sierra Leone, my other country that I work in, I hired various contractors since before COVID, and some of them owe our project water wells, and they haven't done it. So this is where you need a satyagraha. You have to have satyagraha, because the project model is helping people in remote areas get water wells. Very simple. No, should I say frills? No added sugar, no added lace. Very simple.
Yes.
Water wells. Due to corruption, due to lawlessness, greed, selfishness, these various contractors have stolen the resources and haven't provided the water.
Okay.
Okay, so these are hundreds or thousands of village people that are waiting for their well.
Okay.
And this is my problem. It's my project that I founded. I'm the director. There is no one else who is responsible as I am, because I wasn't there monitoring every step. You see, before COVID, I paid for those water wells, and then I had to leave Sierra Leone because of COVID.
Okay.
So I paid the contractor, I left, I trusted him, he didn't do it. Again, Zambia, I paid the contractor, had to leave again because of COVID to go back to the United States. I wasn't there monitoring him. I can blame the contractor, but I think it's better if I take responsibility for my own failures and work towards truth, which is nature, and get these water wells put in the correct villages and get the debt out of my project. These are the hardships I face. I don't want people in villages that we promised water not to get water. If there is suffering that needs to happen, let it be my own. Whatever means, whether it's a dialogue with the contractor, a mediator, possibly a human rights commissioner, something, we need to get the debt cleared from the project. I will never do this again. I have learned in the hard way. But this is why it almost makes me laugh when we have all of these projects in the US or in Europe or wherever, maybe Japan. They're sending resources to Africa, hundreds of dollars, thousands, millions, whatever it is, and wondering why the poverty of Africa has increased. The more funding and support that is being sent to Africa is increasing the poverty. Why? Because of what I'm talking about. You can't send money and trust a person, even if they signed a contract, signed receipts, you take photos of them accepting the money.
Yes.
They have a different system. Through constitutionally, they have a very Western, both of Zambia and Sierra Leone basically have a British constitution.
Okay.
Basically. But people aren't following, even law enforcement isn't following their own constitution.
Okay.
So, do I get to deal with that?
That's why you
yeah.
tackle them in various ways.
And I don't even know how. I don't even know how I will. I just know that I will. I know myself, and I know that this has affected me on a very deep spiritual level.
Yes.
That there is debt to my project, and that people don't have the water wells that they were promised. Right?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. We are very proud of you, ma'am. You done this project in a in a proper way. You are a role model as a social worker for Indians also. Now about your Indian connections, please say something.
Oh my gosh, do we have 5 hours? 5 minutes, I'll condense. I came to India when I was graduated from university in Boulder, Colorado, in the United States. I had an Indian friend. She was an exchange student in Colorado.
Okay.
Her mother was with her. Her mother wanted me, they invited me to India because they felt gratitude towards me because the lady's daughter, a lot of people hadn't been kind to her.
Okay.
She wasn't assimilating into U.S. culture so well, and they respected that I was her friend. and they were both, the mother and the daughter were my friends. So they invited me to, they were from Haryana
Okay.
when I was 23. I came to India before I came to Africa. It was my first experience traveling in a non-European country.
Yes.
I had only been to Canada and England, France,
Frequently.
Scotland. I had never visited any part of the world that wasn't Europe or a highly developed country.
Yes.
So I came to India and I felt it was very life-changing. I felt it very familiar, like in my soul. And I was intrigued, interested. There's so much depth to this culture. Everything from food preparation to textiles to history to literature. It's a very
Various
deep,
types of
yes.
arts.
So I've been coming back to India. I don't know how many times. It's my daughter's third trip. I think I've been here 9 times, 10, I don't know, 11, maybe 11. When I'm here, it feels like home. And India, I couldn't do my project in Africa without India. I need India as a spiritual resource to help me survive difficult situations in Africa. It is only in the last 2016 that I started learning about Gandhian Satyagraha methodology.
Yes.
Before that, I would just come to India. I would talk to people, learn about philosophies of yoga, Vedic texts, things like that, and this type of wisdom really has helped me live in many ways in isolation.
Yes.
In Africa, I live in a village. There's people everywhere staring at me. There's nothing I can do. I can do it every day for the rest of my life. Make a fire, clean a dish, and everyone will stare at me like they've never seen me before. They're so interested, and it never goes away. And I live with many people, but ultimately I live in isolation.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we know about you in detail, how do you find your stay in India in this current trip?
This current,
Yes.
at this university?
Yes.
Or this university is really, it's really amazing. It's a class act.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
organized. It's clean. It's multidisciplinary. I've been enjoying the sports club, the pool. I'm really impressed. This trip to India, since we came in January, we've traveled around a lot. We flew to Mumbai, took a train to Ahmedabad, stayed at Gujarat Vidyapith for some weeks. There was a conference on rural sustainable transformation.
Yes.
And I spoke at that conference. Then I worked with international students. Vidyapith has a course every year from Gandhi's birthday, the 2nd of October,
Yes.
until the 30th of January when he was assassinated. And they bring international students for 4 months. And so I helped with that course this year.
Okay.
Then we went to the south. We went to a Gandhian institution. We learned a lot there. Then we went to, we've traveled to different ashrams, different places, talked about our work, talked about Africa, talked about We visited IFCO. You know they make fertilizer.
Yes.
If am I saying that in
Yes.
Gandhinagar?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Gandhinagar.
We visited there, hoping to work with them on organic fertilizer for my project. So India is an invaluable resource for my project. I could not do my work in Africa without the United States of America. I need them. And India, I need you. Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Would you like to give message for the listeners?
Yes, I would. There's not really any deep meaning or point. My daughter always says, "Mom, what's the point of my life? Why am I here?" It's something we all ask ourselves all the time. No matter how old you are, no matter what work you're doing, we all, as human beings, part of the human condition, why am I here? And I always say to her, your existence is profoundly significant. You are here to realize that you don't matter. Your purpose in life is realizing yourself.
Yes.
That you matter because you are part of a collective, and the collective is part of you, and these two things are interchangeable, right?
Yes.
The collective needs the individual needs the collective. When you realize that you are not doing all things for yourself, for your own benefit, your own vanity, your own ego, your own insecurity, when everything you do is an action based on selfishness, you will never be fulfilled. When you think of everyone as you, like part of you is in me, you might not see that looking at me. My hair is yellow, yours is black, like this, but part of you is in me and part of me is in you. When you see that, you can't ever ignore it. Once you see it, it never goes away.
Yes.
So when I see Africans, probably the strongest, in my opinion, Africans, whether it's Egyptians, Zulu, South Africans, north to south, east to west, the Creoles of West Africa, and the Amharic people of Ethiopia, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which tribe, which country, which boundary. The people of Africa, in many ways, I believe, are the strongest people on Mother Earth, because they have lived through things that I don't know if the rest of us could survive. And you're looking at potential, what potential they're reaching, and how much lower it is for what they could be achieving. And if they had simple resources, how much farther ahead they could be than they are now. And out of love, there's no way to ignore this issue.
Yes.
It's an issue I'm happy and proud and honored and humbled to do every day of my life. Is it easy? Never. But I'm not alive for my life to be easy. I'm here to find my own purpose, which is in love of others, which is love of myself. They go together. If I love myself, if I honor myself, if I respect my authentic being, then it's automatic that I have that with you. If you're a stranger, if you're my best friend,
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. I am very happy and honored to discuss with you. That's why we offered we oftenly see that person is not important. His work is very important. So we would like to say that we had honor to discuss with about your social work and educational work. Thank you very much, ma'am. We very much inspired by you.
I am very much inspired by you and this university and their commitment to teaching others about Gandhi, and I'm honored to be in India, and a university, a creative...
MGM University.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's MGM, which is Mahatma Gandhi Mission
University.
in Aurangabad, and you also have a branch in Navi Mumbai.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I visited there also.
Okay.
And we also went to Pune.
Yes.
Do you say Pune or Pune?
Pune.
Yeah.
Marathi people call like Pune.
Oh, and then other
Others,
languages say
Pune.
Pune. That's
Yes.
it. Yeah, I've seen it spelled Poona or
Yes.
Pune.
Puna,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And we worked with this is Gandhi Smarak,
Gandhi Smarak.
Gandhi Bhavan
Hmm.
partners, and we did a workshop with the MGM University support on conflict transformation,
Yes.
and that's very important. I know we've run out of time, but my aim is to have nonviolence libraries. We have one started in Sierra Leone. I want to make a nonviolence library, a nonviolence center in Zambia, and invite specifically Indians to come help me teach maybe people in the urban Africa about Gandhi, books from the library, and then maybe the urbanized Africans can help me teach in the remote areas because they're used to those conditions and everything.
Yes.
But it's my dream to try to convey this
Convey
peace.
this message. Peace.
Yes, it's inner peace.
Okay.
It's inner peace.
It is very important.
Yeah.
We have to make inner peace in our personality.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Thank you for visit MGM University, and we enjoy your workshop very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.